Abe, hurry up in case the train comes.
Dude, what if you think we could get hit by a train here?
Do you think this is an active railroad?
It's hard to say. You know what a train sounds like?
Yeah.
What does it sound like?
I don't know.
You don't know what a train sounds like?
Well, yeah, like, there's a horn.
There's a horn?
Yeah.
You want to demonstrate it?
No, I don't.
You think we'll have this is like the Notebook when they almost get hit by a car, it'll be like a train.
We'll hear it, and
I
we'll
hope
see
so.
it. I mean, you can't see that far, but I can.
Well, it'd be a good way to go.
We're not going to get hit by a train.
All right, you want to start the podcast?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the R&R Podcast. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Renee.
the most beautiful in the world.
You're too sweet.
Oh,
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome. Today, well, I'll back up a little bit. If you guys are new to the channel or you've been following us for a minute, like, subscribe, give us a follow. All of the links to our Patreon and any ways that you want to support us are down below. We really do appreciate y'all coming and giving your feedback. This has been something that we've been pretty passionate about and wanted to do for a while, so we appreciate every single one of you that follows along and wants to listen to us yap about real life stuff and real life problems. Renee has something she wants to talk about today. What is it?
It's kind of funny that we were just talking about getting hit by a train because I envision, like, pushing you off the tracks.
What the
and,
fuck?
Like, saving you.
Oh, saving me. Okay.
Pushing you off the tracks.
Off, okay,
you know,
off.
Like, protecting you.
Wow.
And today, I want to talk about protecting your partner.
Okay, I like it.
Kind of cheesy how that led into that.
No, I don't think it's cheesy at all.
I didn't do that on purpose.
It sounds good.
Oh my god. That's so stupid. Oh, I just kicked you.
It's okay.
But yeah, protecting your partner.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I think everybody's witnessed this when you see a couple and, like, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
They're not protecting each other. And not only do they make their partner look or seem bad, they make themselves look or seem bad.
Yes.
And they look like they probably shouldn't last too much longer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. You know what it reminds me of is I was just watching that some interview with Jake Paul and his fiance, something, I can't remember her name.
I have no idea.
But anyways, there's like some beef with some other guy, but she was on this like podcast and they had just recently got engaged or whatever. And it was like a pretty big podcast. And she was like doing like little stuff like to embarrass him. Like, she's like, you have a booger, or like, you know, she's like, why does your breath smell? You know, like kind of stuff like that. And he's just, you can tell this guy that makes millions of dollars a year is just like shrinking.
She's belittling him.
It's like, yeah, belittling him. And like, you know, they talk about her ring. She's like all about, and I was like, dude.
That is not protecting your partner.
It's not even so much as like it's a big deal, because like I teased you about your zit earlier, but like we were already talking about it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that's just how we are. It was just funny. You know, and you're the one that brought it up.
I owned this zit.
Yeah, you owned the hell out of it today.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But there, you know, and there's also a difference between a lack of protecting your partner and then blatant disrespect.
Yeah,
or
like just
belittling
shitting
them.
on them, or, you know, taking roasts a little too far. You're not a very good roaster in a relationship. Like, you don't handle roasts very well.
Yeah, I'm too sensitive.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, my flirting is roasting you. Like,
yeah.
But I don't actually do it anymore because I've just learned that you just don't like it. So I channel it into other ways. But that's just in private, though.
Yeah,
you know,
that's just something we figured out.
We don't do that in public.
Yeah.
I would never do that in public.
Yeah.
You know, because then it's like in front of people, especially.
Oh, yeah, I'd be pissed.
Right, exactly. And who would do that? Because, like, I would never want to embarrass my partner. Like, because I'm not only just supposed to physically protect you, but I'm supposed to protect you emotionally as well, especially when you're an introvert and you're in public. You don't want to fucking be there anyways.
I don't want any attention.
Right. Like, there are times where we'll be out somewhere and we've been out like the mall for like maybe an hour and you're like shrink and you're like, I'm ready to go. In that moment, if I didn't protect her and want to do what she wanted to do, well, it could cause a lot of conflict. So
the rest of the day could be pretty shitty.
Yeah, you just need a reset sometimes. And I'm the same way when I don't have many spoons left because I'm taking care of everybody else for the day. You know,
yeah.
So it goes along that. But give us some examples of what you're talking about.
So this is a big one. Sharing personal information about your partner without their consent. Whether it be at work or between friends or on social media or anywhere, You should never share information about your partner without them knowing you have intent to share it.
Especially if it's something that is
Could be
that you know that is
sensitive.
sensitive or is a sore subject for them.
Yeah, like it could be anything, a physical insecurity or, something that they did they're embarrassed about. Just
Yeah.
anything. Don't share personal information about them,
Yeah, I agree.
you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Like you don't want to be at a family dinner with the in-laws and be like, he couldn't get hard last night. You would never say that.
There are some families that are like that, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's a pretty extreme example, but or like, oh yeah, so and so lost a job last
Yeah.
night. It's just like it could really embarrass them. It's just not cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Openly disrespecting them. That's kind of what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Like on that interview, like,
You guys are good if you want. Like,
oh yeah, you're fine.
yeah, you're totally fine.
We know we're in public. But yeah, like, that interview you were saying where she was like publicly belittling him or, throwing jabs.
Right.
That is just so beyond anything I would ever even think of doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Openly, this is huge, openly sharing details about a conflict you have between each other.
This is
which
such a big thing
makes
for me.
them look bad to your friends or family. Like if Ryan and I, we don't really get in arguments. If we ever have a little misunderstanding, we face it together and in private.
Almost immediately.
Immediately,
Yeah.
yep, and we hash it out. So there's never really, like, we never have a conflict and then have this big gap and then resolve it later. We never.
Yeah, it goes back to, well,
we never stew
we
on
also
things.
we also do discuss, like, if there's a problem, but like, let's say for example it's been a long day and you are just completely checked out.
Yeah, I will voice that.
You will voice that, and then we'll just revisit it later. But we don't go time where it's awkward. We'll still spend time together.
Yes.
And we'll still like be together. And actually, that ends up easing. It's like an easement into the conversation. Like there's another one of those white things.
But my point is, if there is a little bit of a gap in between, oh yeah, there's like orbs. We don't go parading around bashing each other to our friends and family.
Yeah, horrible.
Like we don't sit there and go like, oh, Ryan said this, he's such a jerk, I can't believe he, meh. I don't go to my parents and bitch about him. I don't go to my close friends because your friends and family don't know your partner the way you do. And they never forget about that bad shit you tell them.
No, they don't.
They
and
never
people forget that, like, they'll do it and then they're like, oh, it's just a fight between us. But when you share it with friends, family, whatever the case would be, social media, those people never forget.
And it's almost like they keep some sort of tally about your partner.
I have favorite couples on Facebook that I love to watch fight because it's like, oh, dude, we're on episode like 17 of this shit.
Exactly.
I love it.
It just makes your partner look bad. You're not protecting them.
And nobody takes that shit seriously. Everybody looks at you like you're such a joke.
Now, okay, I call my mom on the phone every day. And I love it. It's great. We're very close. It's not unhealthy to say, like, oh, I'm a little bummed today. We had a little bit of a hiccup, but we worked it out.
Right.
If you're kind of down in the dumps that you upset your partner or something, that's okay to say, but don't share personal details about it.
Yeah, because especially somebody like your mom or your dad, they're not gonna
get it.
Yeah, and they're gonna look at me completely different.
Exactly.
And that's obviously not good for a long-term relationship because then it goes back to, if your friends and your family dislike the person you're with, they're gonna advocate for you
to not be with them.
Right. They're gonna do everything they can to, and then when I go to see them, they're going to remember that.
They're going to have a chip on their shoulder about you.
Right, and then I'm going to have to...
And nothing is more deadly than a girlfriend's closest girlfriends. Like, they are like attack dogs. And I don't forget that time you did this. Like, so just protect your partner. Don't share when you guys are having a conflict or a fight.
That stuff that you talk to your partners about, like your friends and family and everything, that should be the conversation you have with your partner. And it should be squashed before it gets to the point where you're lashing out in anger. You should never have an angry, like, tone or, like, an angry, like, entry point into the conversation with friends or family because they're like, who fucking hurt you?
They'll come they're ready to freaking rally up.
They're ready to just ride at dawn. I'll see you on, at light on the 6th day. Like, fucking, we ride. And it's like... Don't come for me, bro. We had a misunderstanding about fucking cottage cheese.
I was just mad at we didn't feed the dog at the same time.
Right,
It wasn't
like
even a problem.
I fed the kids chocolate when I wasn't supposed to, like just
Yeah.
silly stupid shit like that, and it's like people are ready to cut your throat over it.
Yeah,
So yeah, don't do it. It's really bad.
don't do it. You sort of touched base on this part, but sharing too much on social media, couples like breaking up and getting back together.
Hear me out. This is for y'all. I have a big chip on my shoulder about this one. Y'all that do this shit, keep doing it, okay, for
You
me.
startled me because I thought this was directed at me.
No, not at you.
Like,
I love y'all keep doing it. I love it. But if you want my
It's toxic.
if you want my honest opinion, it's toxic as shit.
Let's talk a little more quiet because there's.
But I absolutely love the fact that there are people out there that feel like they can just break up 6 times in a week, change their profile picture, go to single,
Yeah.
erase the pictures, and then a week later
Get back together.
do it all over again and act like nobody's none the wiser, and they'll do it multiple times. And it's like, y'all, nobody takes you seriously, nobody respects you. Like, if your relationship is like that publicly, what is happening behind closed doors?
Plus, like, yeah, people love joy. People love love. People love healthy, happy relationships. We get emotionally involved when you're posting how happy y'all are.
Yeah.
Every time you guys are good, we're like, yeah, we're rooting for you.
Yep.
And then you freaking break up again, and we're like, okay, now I don't take you guys
Yeah.
seriously.
Or there's somebody you looked up to, you know, like a couple that you really looked up to, and then it's like, oh, this person like did this to me or that, and you're like, really? You're like,
Yeah.
ooh, that's not good. And then say you fix the problem, and then you get back on social media and you like act like nothing ever happened. Well, in our brain, we're still like, we're pretty sure, you know, this occurred, and it makes not only like us not respect the person, but the other side as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Because it makes, to me, it just looks like they don't have communication skills. They don't know how to resolve conflict. So the way they deal with it is by breaking up
right.
cyclically all the time.
Yeah. It should never, if you're in a serious relationship, breaking up, divorce, anything like that should never be on the table. Ever. It should never be used as a weapon. It should never be used in confrontation.
It should never be a threat.
It should never be a threat. It should never even occur.
You should never break up just because you don't want to handle an uncomfortable conflict resolution.
Again, in a relationship that's long term, the minor drawback of those conversations is the minor bit of uncomfortability. But if you are very serious about somebody, you should understand that those moments can be breeding grounds for extreme benefits of in your relationship.
Yeah.
Because you know that it's your perspective, her perspective, and and then together, you're like, hey, this is what we want to do together. Let's move forward and create a new perspective together.
Yeah.
It should be a joint.
I like that.
It should
Create
be
a new perspective
it should be
together.
a joint union of two people that bring something new to the table together in a new way that benefits both of you and the relationship moving forward.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's good. The next part is don't share your partner's shortcomings.
Dude.
So what I mean by this is if your girlfriend came home and she got fired from her bank job that day, don't tell your buddies that night at playing pool. Like, don't tell everybody right away. What if they don't want people to know?
It's like, don't tell your girlfriends I only last 3 seconds. Like that. And then they bring it up and they're like, what's up? What's up, 3-second Ryan? You're like, hey.
Well, luckily I would never need to tell them that because it's not true. But yeah, don't share people's... don't share their shortcomings,
Yeah.
no matter what it is. Don't, unless they are okay with it, but they're probably not.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 they're not. If it's uncomfortable for them in general, it's not something. It's not even yours to share.
Like, oh, the doctor told Brian he has high cholesterol today. Like, you don't want people to know.
I'm like, well, okay. I mean, I personally, it's like such a dumb thing to carry.
Well, that's
Hey, Amanda? Yeah, you'll never guess. Ryan's got high cholesterol again. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna last. Okay, well, maybe we should look in other options.
well, a health problem,
Yeah, like ED. You can't get it up.
Oh, I think I'm an eating disorder. I was like, that one shows itself. That's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
eat
obvious.
too much. That's a disorder for sure.
But yeah, and the last part is pretty big, not having each other's back.
Dude. that one hits me hard, man. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation where
They didn't have your back.
they privately, publicly, or like, by yourself, like if you're out with somebody and somebody says something and it's like, well, actually that's not how that went down.
Yeah.
And then, like, or somebody heard something somehow.
Yeah.
And they're just like, and then people get it back and you're like, well, that's not actually how that went down. And this is the way that it actually did. So maybe just not say that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never. And first of all, if you're a healthy masculine man, if anybody has anything negative to say about your partner, that shit should be squashed ASAP. They should not even be able to get the last word out before that is handled however you want to handle it. I'm not saying violence, obviously, but if somebody has something to say about my partner, friends, family, anybody, I am so quick to defend her because obviously they don't even know what's going on. And if they do know something, it came from not me, which means it's
Probably
not
not true.
It's not true. And I don't like that shit at all.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody does. Nobody wants to look like a complete asshole or a fool behind their back. Like, it's just like, and then you heard that this went on and your partner just let it slide and you're like, it's a big ick. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then you're like, why didn't you have my back? And then it's like, well, it made me uncomfortable. Who fucking cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Have their back always.
Right. Always have your partner's back. All the time.
Yeah.
Always. Got your back, bro.
We got your back, babe.
Got your back, bro. But we also don't put ourselves in situations that generate those kinds of things.
No.
Like in 11 months, in almost a year, we've never had one single problem
No.
like that
No.
because we just like, there's no reason for it to get to that point. If somebody knows something, it would have come from me. And I'm not saying shit.
Yeah.
This is airtight up in this bitch. But we don't have those kinds of problems that make me feel like I need to run to somebody else either to get validation. And that's what
Yeah.
everybody does on social media 9 times out of 10, or to friends and family. They'll just simply run to somebody and express one side of something because they know that those people closest to them are going to take their side and make them feel validated.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what they're searching for the most, is that validation. Like, I'm right, right? I'm right, right? And they're going to be like, oh, of course, you did nothing wrong. And it's just furthering that shitty behavior that they're exuding. And then it just leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth because it's like, we don't even want to be a part of this. And then if you've got mutual friends, nobody wants to be the middle person that gets involved between two people.
Yeah.
No, it's not for me.
There is one more thing I want to add to this that I didn't write down is deal with your shit in private.
100%.
Like, don't fight in public. And like, I knew this couple, they've broken up since this happened.
Shocker.
Yeah, they've broken up and they're both in new happy relationships, but they went to play mini golf with another couple I'm really close with, and my friends I'm closest told me they were fighting the whole time.
So uncomfortable.
They were like, dude, they were like screaming at each other.
If I was in that situation, I'd be like, dude, what are you guys doing?
I
Like, can you not?
I know, I'd be like, can you guys at least cancel on us or like go in the car and fight about this?
It's...
Like, don't fight in the grocery store. Don't bicker at each other in the checkout line somewhere, or if you're at a social event. Like, I'm not saying to be fake, but like, you shouldn't have gone. Like, don't be at a social event if you're fighting.
Or pull
If
the person. Yeah,
like,
pull the person aside,
go
man.
aside.
You know those couples. It's like I have literally had people in my life.
Or they say passive things.
Yeah, that
like
I will
digs at each other.
Yeah, that I will literally not hang out with because I know every time we get around,
they're gonna fight.
they're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Or about the dumbest stuff, or it's gonna make everything uncomfortable.
Everybody uncomfortable.
And you're like, yeah,
that is not protecting your
And
partner.
like, why don't you hang out anymore? It's like, well, because you're trash and
because you guys aren't a good experience.
I'm subscribed from this trauma right here. It's like, I'm happy over here. I'm like peaceful. Let me have like my peace with my person. And like, you guys are just cramping the whole thing.
Yeah, like,
I paid good money for this shit. I didn't come to see an abuse show.
yeah, exactly. Like, do that stuff in private. But that's all I have to say about that. I think we pretty much covered that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did awesome.
You did too, babe. I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, you have to do your ending spiel.
I always forget that ending spiel. Thanks everybody for tuning in and listening to us. Sorry about that whole situation right here. It got really. I always forget the camera's on. Like sometimes I just want to like. You want to go in the woods over there. So thank you for following us along, giving us a listen to us yap on about stuff that we enjoy. Again, like, subscribe, follow the channel if you want to. And as usual, thank you again, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye.
See ya. Did so good, baby.
Thanks, babe. You too.